All right, so we're joined by my friend, Alcorn State University alum, the operations manager at the Amazon Fulfillment Center, author of Hello Black Man and all the related books. Really got his
Mhm.
hands on a lot of things. Great speaker, great person, Jamey Jenkins. We thank you so much for taking some
What's
time for
going
us
on,
today.
Greg? Thank you so much for having me. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, so obviously we got a lot to unpack, but before we talk about Amazon and some of the things in your writing, just give us a little background on you. I did mention you're Alcorn State alum, but you before you were at Amazon, you were at Nissan as well. So talk a little bit about
Yep.
how your educational background, your college experience, and your prior experience kind of led you to Amazon.
Okay, so I started out as I'm a political science pre-law major from Alcorn State University, and for me, I guess I knew that politics and dealing with people would put me in positions of leadership. So I use political science to leverage my way into companies or into Nissan and work my way up. And I understood that it's the study of people. Politics is only the study of people and what they do. And so what I was able to do at Nissan is I started as a technician, putting parts on. The more you know, and I want to tell the kids this: the more you know, the more jobs you know, the things you learn about the company, how it works, why they do certain things. That's how you get elevated. Some people come into the company and they say, "I just want to do my job and that's it." You're going to get put in a position where you what they call a pigeonhole. You're going to be in a spot and you're not going to be able to move around. But I came in, I wanted to learn new jobs. I would learn new jobs on my own. So when the line was down or things was happening, I would say, okay, show me how to run this job. Show me how to run this job. Eventually, I became offline, like an offline. I wasn't tied to a job all night at Nissan. And I became a lead tech. From a lead tech, I put in for a supervisor. You got to have good people skills, got to have empathy, be able to understand why people are frustrated and things of that nature. So I did very well there. And I spent 18 years at Nissan, 18
Wow.
years. Started as a technician to lead tech to supervisor. I moved around from trim and chassis, moved to fascia where we make bumpers, plastic bumpers at. Um, I had a chance to be a launch coordinator. So at this point, Nissan is sending me back and forth to Japan. So I've been to Japan 3 times. I've been to
Wow.
Mexico twice. Uh, and there, my job was to, as we were building new models, they would be 4 years out or 6 years out. And basically, I would go over there and make sure what they were doing there we
Wow.
could do back here at my plant. So I would go get all the schematics and all the new equipment and all the new plans, come back and I say, okay, we have to be ready for this. We have to be ready for this. We'll need these tools. We'll need this experience. So I was doing that for 18 years. I ended up moving up to a section manager, which is equivalent the same as being over supervisors. Um, and at that point, I was in trim and chassis my last 2 years at Nissan. And trim and chassis is the heartbeat of any plant. That's where all your important items are going to go on at your accelerator pedal, your brake pedal, your airbags, your windshield, the cockpit module. So that really skilled me up for dealing with people, dealing with change at Nissan. And so my last 2 years, I've been at Amazon.
Yeah, so obviously Amazon is a great company, and they're doing a lot of things there in Canton, provided a lot of jobs. But one thing I
Yep.
always hear, I hear it about Nissan, but I just hear kids say, "Man, I'm just going to cruise through high school. I'm just going to go work at Amazon. They can go knock on the door and get hired there." But it really doesn't work like that. So take us, and I know you're not the HR person, but you do have a
Yep.
hand in hiring people there. So
Yeah.
if we have
So,
kids
so,
that say,
so
I just want to go straight to the workforce and
yeah,
I want to get a job at a place like Amazon, what are some things they would need to start working on? Because it's a lot more difficult than they might realize.
it is. It's because Amazon is it's a learned job. That means anybody can learn it, right? It's not a job that you have to have a certain skill set. So what that does is that means a lot of people will be applying to it, right? It's not like we're accepting applications every single day. The way Amazon does it is a little different. Let's just say our attrition rate or people leaving the company is at 5%. We're only going to be bringing in 5%. It's not a place where you're going to go in and just drop your application off and eventually get hired. We will only be hiring for what's needed. And so like you have slow parts of the year. Like right now, February, March, it's a lot slower than let's say Christmas, November, December. So we don't need as many people. So hiring is definitely going to be slow right now. Uh, Attitude, attendance, those are two things that if you don't have those things, don't even apply. If you can't make it to work or make it to work on time or make it to work consistently, Amazon is not going to be the place for you. Because we have a point system when people miss days or hours or things of that nature, and being able to manage your time as well. Because Amazon gives you paid time off, it gives you vacation time, and they give you what they call unpaid time. And you can literally manage it. You're literally managing your own time. So being able to do that as an adult or student, you have to start there right now. Being able to manage when I want to leave, when I need to stay at work, when I need to build those hours up. Because once you go negative in unpaid time, you're automatically terminated from Amazon. Amazon is going to say,
Wow.
okay, you obviously don't want to be here. You're not here consistently. We're going to find somebody that can work consistently. Time management is huge. The other thing when working with a place like Amazon, attitude is huge also, right? Because it is such a fluid place when you talk about what job you're going to be doing. You may be asked to do several things throughout the day. You may be asked to move to a different department, right? So if I come in and my department is overhead count, then another department may start a training class. So boom, you have to go to a whole new department and learn certain things. And so when those days come when I'm overstaffed and they're understaffed, now they have trained employees. So you may be moved around throughout the shift, and you'll get alerts on your phone. You'll get alerts through your app or through any type of scanner you're using where you need to be. And we are trusting that you're going to go where you're asked to go because it's such a big place. It's one of those things that we track is your time on task. So if you're at a job and you're asked to scan 100 boxes an hour, 150 boxes every hour, we can see if you're doing it or not. And if you're not making those rate, you'll get coached. We'll talk to you about it. But there's a minimum requirement of work. So it's not a place you're going to go in, just kind of stand around and do your own thing. Almost every entity in that building is tracked as far as how productive you are. So it's some people are not used to consistent feedback of how well they're doing or how well they're not doing, right? We give positive feedback as well. So if you're making rate and doing above and beyond, we'll be coaching you or praising you about that. But if you're not and you're causing problems or causing quality issues, you definitely be a coach on those things.
Yeah, and another thing is obviously a lot of people want to work there. Like you said, you get a lot of applications. So I
Mm-hmm.
know Nissan does this, and I'm sure Amazon does it as well. Where if you've got a bunch of stuff you're posted online that might be questionable, if you post it with a bunch of
Yeah.
guns or dancing around naked, or or
Yeah.
you're putting you're putting drugs on there and things, you're not going to get hired. And you may think it's private, but these companies that are looking for people to work are going to
Yeah.
find that, especially at a place like Amazon. You're
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of equipment. That is a huge liability. They're not going to put somebody on the floor that may fail a drug test.
Yeah, you have to be conscious of your image, right? You're putting out a product. Whoever your social media says you are, that's who you are. And people are looking for individuals that shows dependability and responsibility. And so if that's who you are socially, then the world can see that. The same way with if you are putting out irresponsible content uh, versus somebody putting out responsible content, it's a very easy choice to make for any company.
Yeah. Now, one thing that we do at all of our schools, Madison Central, Ridgeland, Germantown, here at Velma Jackson, is all of our ninth grade students and some of our not ninth grade students are taking the ACT Work Keys test.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that Amazon looks at. If you can make a higher score on that, that gives you preferential treatment in the interview process. So talk about
Mhm.
when you're vetting these applicants, how the work keys could be beneficial.
Because it is something, because Amazon is all about data, right? It's all about making good choices or making quality choices. If it's math, if it's in interpersonal skills, you're looking for quality people. Amazon loves to hire from within. So if you're coming in as an associate, they want you to move up to PA. But you have to have a certain skill set and shown that you can make those responsible decisions or key decisions based on that, right? I came in as an operations manager. During my interview process, we went through several tests of math that I hadn't done in literally years, right? And so it was a crash course refresher for me. Um, so being able to have that aptitude to go through and have that data and know what to do with it and know how to I guess use it in your favor is huge, right? Because now that I'm coming in and they can see me as being able to grow within the company, right? I'm just not an associate. You may be an associate that, hey, we can see you as a PA. PA, we can see you as an area manager. Area manager, we can see you as a level two area manager. Level two area manager as an operation manager. So you're coming in, and that way, based on how you're scoring and how well you do on these tests, they know you are groomable, right? You're groomable to be able to move up into leadership.
Yeah, and I just can't stress that enough because we have students that complain about it, but it can open up some great opportunities for you to work at a great
Absolutely.
place like Amazon. Now, just a
Absolutely.
couple more things I want to talk about before we talk about Hello Black Man is at Amazon. I think it's cool. It's a 4-day work week. I mean, obviously there's
Yeah.
overtime available, but talk a little bit about that because it's extreme. I personally would love that. So talk a little bit
Yeah.
about how that works.
So I work what you call back half days. So there are many schedules there. Let me be clear. So you have the four main schedules. I work back half day. I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? And then front half works Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so Wednesday we overlap. That's our overlap day. So all the leadership from front half, the leadership from back half are there, and all the associates are there on that overlap day. So Wednesday is our big push day, based off of how people buy and how people purchase. Uh, it kind of ramps up. Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the highest, and then it kind of goes down. Our volume goes down throughout, I guess, Friday, Saturday.
I did not
That's
know
based
that.
off people
Wow.
ordering online. And so what happens is working that 4-day work week is phenomenal for most associates because most associates or leadership, they're going to have weekdays off. They're going to have certain weekdays off. So if you work front hand, you got Thursday and Friday off. And Saturday off. So now you have Thursday, Friday to handle any kind of business that you need to handle from that standpoint. I work back half. So I have Monday and Tuesday I can dedicate to my business, family, or whatever I need to do to be responsible in life. And it helps me tremendously. Not just be off on the weekend, like some, like most jobs, you're off Saturday, Sunday. And also we have a night shift. They work Sunday through Wednesday, and then we have a back half night shift. Uh, they work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. They work three shifts. They only work three shifts. The back half of night shift only work three shifts, but they work longer hours. They work 12-hour shifts. And then we have donut shift. We have a shift that is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We have people that come in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We have people that come in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have a lot of different shifts there. And for us, it's just about flexibility. It's about having the ability to do max volume every single day based off of attendance assumption, based off of you already know if you have 100 people, 100 people are not coming to work, right? So you have to overlap certain shifts with other shifts to ensure that you can provide, the numbers and everybody can work comfortably in order to make the goal for today.
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is not just the benefits, but let's say somebody graduates from high school and they want to go to school. They want to go to Jackson State. They want to go to Belhaven or Holmes or Hines. They could do
Yep.
that and still work at Amazon.
We have so many college students there. that are working flex. We have flex where you work only 30 hours. We have some part-time positions there. And we have a lot of full-time positions there. If you're working full-time at Amazon, they will help accommodate your college schedule as far as like if you need to leave at 2 or 3 versus getting off at 6, you can get those accommodations. They are very, very pro college life friendly, and for the most part, almost anything that you are trying to do in college, Amazon is going to be reimbursing you for. So that reimbursement for associates is absolutely huge. So you're local. You have Amazon right here. You have all these local colleges. It could be a great pipeline for you not to be in debt when you graduate college. That should be everybody's goal. So to have an entity here, to have a company here in Mississippi that says, hey, you come here, we're going to pay for your college, regardless of what the degree is in, I think it's something that should be, I think every high school should be tapping in, or Amazon should be tapping in, should be a partnership saying, hey, this is what we're looking for. You can come here, you can get your degree at, Mill South, at Belhaven, at Jackson State, at Tougaloo, and walk out of that thing debt free. Like that's responsible. That's taking advantage of the situation that's here right here in your backyard.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about how to apply here at the end. But we want to talk about Hello
Okay.
Black Man, which is your company, which you mentioned. Because, even if somebody's not interested in working at Amazon, because obviously it's not for everybody, Hello
Mm-hmm.
Black Man, Hello Black Woman, Hello Black Student, Hello Black Couple, the books that you've written can really apply to anyone. And they really
Mm-hmm.
deal with a lot of issues, not just in the Black community, but I think they could apply to anyone. But you really saw a
Absolutely.
need for talking about emotions, talking about mental health, talking about
Mm-hmm.
obstacles that people face, especially young Black kids, young Black couples, young Black entrepreneurs face, and how appropriate during
Mm-hmm.
Black History Month to speak about this because, and you've actually come and spoken to our kids in person about it because, let's be honest, for the longest time, there was a stigma in the Black community about mental health. And that narrative is
Right.
starting to change. And people like you really bringing this to light is really helping a lot of people. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how this came to be and how and how it works with the books and what people can get out of it.
Okay, so the company that I run basically every day when I get off from Amazon or before, it's called Hello Black Man. It's a book. It's a journey about transparency and communication. What it does it's gonna ask you specific questions about love, life, relationship, finance, a little bit about everything, and allow you to write it down and document it. Right. So when you write things down and document it, now you have your words written down that you can always go back to see, and you can track your progress, right? Because who I am today, I'll be a different person a year from now, 5 years from now. But if it's not documented, your memory is not as good as you think it is, right? And you want to be able to see progress. It's not. I know mine is not. And so you want to be able to see progress. You want to be able to see change. You want to say, hey, I wrote this down in 2024 and this is my guideline. This is my mantra. This is something that I want to make happen. And now I can hold myself accountable by looking at it. Or it could be something that you wrote down in 2024, and in 4 years, you're like, hey, I'm a totally different person now. Like what I was going through in 2024, I'm a different person. I moved beyond that. And so this is just a way to document who you are, or document your place in life. And it's something that you can pass on from generation to generation. I think that something that we don't do as a culture is document and pass down information. Because in 100 years, I want to be able to help someone in 100 years. It is very unlikely that I'll be here on this earth at that time. But in 100 years, my grandson could read and comprehend the things I was going through and say, hey, my great great granddad had this going on, and this is how he handled it. I now have a roadmap. I now have some answers, because at some point you're going to be a date. That's all you're going to be, right? And so you want to be able to leave behind answers to the next generation. One of the things that we always say is you break generational curses with generational information, right? So imagine your family uh, participating in writing down if they're an educator, if they're a couple, right? Most people don't know what their mom and dad, if they have a mom and dad, together in a relationship there, they don't know what it has taken them to be there 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they only get bits and pieces of the story. But they're going to eventually, possibly be in a relationship or entertain being married. It will be great to say, hey, here are 50 plus stories from my mom or dad in their
Wow.
relationship. And now it could help me in my relationship. And I think that most people talk about the same things over and over. They talk about work, they talk about sports, they talk about food, and then we talk about a few current events. And it's the same conversations 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, and you get to a place to where you only know that about the person. You only know where they work. You only know their football team, and you only know that they like pizza or hamburgers. Like you don't know the person at all. And, and so what this is just a way to document and have conversations. I've learned so much about my mom or dad over the course of the last 4 years we've been doing this, 5 years we've been doing this. That it's really astounding, right? Uh, when I started to write Hello Black Man, it was to kind of help my relationship and help my relationship with my kids and bonus kids because we don't ask specific questions. You just kind of go through the day. Your room is dirty, clean this up. I'm going to work. I'm coming back. I'm watching TV. I'm going to bed. I'm going to work. I'm playing my video game. You going to work. You going to school. And that's it. It gets very redundant, right? And you don't have those in-depth conversations like you really need to. And so with this, I started writing down questions that I wanted my significant other and my kids to know about. I'm writing it down. And I start writing questions down. And I was thinking, I said, okay, I have these great questions here. And I started thinking from me to my son, I said, okay, I know he doesn't know these answers. He doesn't know how I feel about certain things. He's never asked me. And I started looking at the question. I was like, I don't know this about my own dad. And me and my dad talk very regularly. And I'm like, wow, like, do I really know my dad? Like, do I really know him? I know who his football team is. I know what he does for a living. I know where he goes to church. But these are questions that are going to really have you to focus on how transparent and how much communication you want to share in your life.
Wow. And again, and I've read some of the books, and they're really and helloblackman.com is where you can find all of it. And there
Yep.
really are so many different you have for couples, entrepreneurs, college students, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a big believer in, these kids can say I'm lying all day long. These ones that are about to graduate in just a few months, they're going to have a huge transition no matter where
Yes.
they go to school, where they go to work. And being able to think out loud and put your thoughts on paper is so important because you're not going to be the same person you are right now a year from now. I don't care what
No,
your
you're not.
path is. It's just
Nope.
such a time transition. And I think these books really do a great job of asking those tough questions. And again, it is called Hello Black Man, but honestly, what I've read, it could apply to anybody.
Oh,
it is
absolutely.
not, yeah. And it
Let me
really is a
let me
lot
grab
of great
something real
content
quick.
here. Sure.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we do have a couple of journals. Like we have the Journey Journal for literally every person on the face of the planet, and these do very well on Amazon. And like this is something that you're talking about a great stocking stuff for a great Christmas present. And it's huge because it now allows you a placeholder for who you are. And this is something that we're pushing for college students or high school students. Everything doesn't have to go on social media, right? Every opinion, some of them just need to be yours or need to be documented for yourself. And so we have the Hello Athlete for all athletes across the planet Earth to be able to write their thoughts and their ideas down, or let's talk about their career and what they've done, or the things that didn't go their way. Like it could be a way to you have a lot of athletes that didn't make it and they've never told their story, right? Or the ones that did and they need a place to write things down. So Hello Athlete is a place for that.
That's awesome. Well, I do have some questions from the students, and I'll get to as many of these as I can.
Come on
These
with it.
first one's really good. This is Shania Kyles, one of our dancers here at Velma Jackson, and actually moved here from Minnesota. So kind of cool that she's here in Mississippi. But she got a couple questions. The first one is, what about Amazon sticks out the most to you as a great place to work?
For me, it's flexibility, right? Because you're in a place for let's say for an associate, right? If they're in an environment or in a place where they've learned, they want to move around, they have a way that you can shift departments very easily. Like most places, when you go into an area, you're basically in their area. If you go into Walmart and you go into produce, you're not moving to electronics. You're not moving to a different, place in the building. When Amazon has an ability where you can put in for departmental shifts, you can shift.
Wow.
You can shift what days you come in. You can shift swap with somebody. The flexibility of Amazon is unlike anything I've ever seen. So
That's awesome.
flexibility is huge there, and learning is huge, right? Because you have on your app, you have an A to Z app. You can take classes and learn different things that in your department or other departments, and it would allow you to be able to pick up shifts in other departments. So the
Wow.
flexibility of Amazon is absolutely unreal, like anything I've ever seen. I've been there for 2.5 years, and I've never printed a piece of paper. Everything is digital and electronic. I hadn't printed one piece of paper. Everything is on my laptop. Everything I need. It's almost mind blowing.
That's incredible. Now she got another question, and I'm glad she's asking this too. She asked, in college, what did you struggle with the most, and how did you get through that?
I struggle with being responsible, right? I was the class clown coming through high school. And when you go to college, it's going to be night and day. Nobody is coming to get you for class. Nobody is coming to get you to turn certain things in. You have to have that switch in your mind that says, I am responsible for myself. So being self-sufficient is something that I struggle with starting out. But I'm a competitor, right? So I had to find that angle of competition to make me get to class. Like, okay, you think you're smarter than me. I'm not gonna miss the class anymore because I had to find something kind of like the Kobe Bryant thing. That even if it's real or not, you have to find your angle to make you do certain things. So I struggle with being responsible, turn things in my freshman year into my sophomore year, and then I was like, no, I'm a better student than this. Uh, you know, there are certain things I'm going to have to not do or do, or if it's spending a certain amount of time to ensure that who I am is reflected in the grade that I'm going to receive, right? So you have to be responsible and accountable for your time, especially in college.
Absolutely. I love this one. This is RJ Jones. He's a junior, and he asked,
Okay.
what life experiences have you had that you think has made you feel so passionate about your career and your business?
Uh, the life experience of time passing, if that makes sense. Because you know that there is a finite time for everyone. So there's only a limited amount of time to get things done. If the sooner you realize that, the more passionate you can be about whoever you are and the role that you're going to take, right? Everybody's role can be different. If you want to be a musician, if you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be a teacher, whatever your role is, once you realize that you only have a certain amount of time to do those things, it should put a passion on you. Because of like what I'm doing at Amazon, I've been a leader for over 20 years. I've been in management for over 20 plus years. I enjoy it. I enjoy the how spontaneous things are, how unscheduled things are, and I can keep a level head. And while the house is burning down, I can say, "Let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's put some water here, bring this person here." Like somebody had to be able to make those calls. The same way in my business, I am putting something out that may not be very popular, but I think is very needed. So when I speak to people, I have to speak from a place of passion, and so they know that I believe in what I'm doing, and they can feel it. They can feel that vibe. If you're selling anything, and in most cases, that's what you are. If you're a photographer, if you're in Walmart, any job, you're selling your persona. And so when you're able to be passionate about it, people can read the room. Most people can say, he believes in what he's doing. I'm going to go with this guy, or go with this young lady, or go with this them or they, and going forward. So time. Let people know that there's a finite time to make those decisions, and that should fuel your fire.
Absolutely. I've got two more, and then that's a great segue to this question.
Okay.
This is Gavin Griffin. He's a senior, just signed to play football at East Mississippi Community College. Also a member of our track
Okay.
team. Asked, what was your main inspiration to start writing this book, and what needs did you see in the Black community that needed to be talked about?
My main was I saw a void in me. I saw something that needed to be fixed in me. And I'm not saying that I'm fixed now, right? Because it's always going to be a work in progress. I'm a person that shies away from certain topics or conversations because this is who I am. Uh, but how helpful is it to my significant other if I'm unavailable and don't want to have certain conversations, right? I'm almost taken away from my relationship. The same way with my kids, the same way with my bonus kids. Being able to have those conversations is something that I wanted to be able to do. So I went back to a place to where I was most transparent. Back in high school, writing poetry, writing letters and things of that nature. And I said, if I could write this down, I can have a better conversation because now I know how the conversation needs to be had. It's just like going into a football game with a map, with a game plan. Going into a basketball game with a game plan. Now you have a game plan. With a game plan, you're more prepared. So writing those thoughts and ideas down gives you a game plan. So that's kind of what leads me into the questions that we have into each journey.
That's awesome. All right, just got one more, and this is Deja Weaver. She's a senior. She's a member of our volleyball team here, and she asked, "Would you ever consider being a full-time writer? And if you did, what type of new books would you write?"
Ooh, Baker, you are really putting the pressure on me here, right? Because I'm 45. I'm gonna tell you a couple things. I'm 45 years old, and the older you get, the more reluctant to take certain chances you have, right? And
I agree.
so you yes, and so it is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I want to be in a place to where financially that it makes sense that I'm able to do those things. I'm able to provide for my kids and my household, and I want to get there. I have a plan in place to say, hey, by this date, and sometimes the plans change, and you can always rearrange things. But that's my goal. My goal is to take my business and it be my brand and it be my life. I'll be able to breathe it, live it, breathe it every single day. So I thank you for that affirmation. I thank you for that question. So that's my goal. My goal is to have my business of Hello Black Man and it be something that I take mobile and global in the very near future.
That's awesome. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking
Okay.
some time. But before we go, a couple things. First of all,
Okay.
tell us where we can find the books, helloblackman.com. And
you can go to helloblackman.com or you can go to amazon.com. I work at Amazon and my books are published through Amazon. So you can go to amazon.com and type in Jamey Jenkins, JameyJenkins, or you can go to helloblackman.com and we have literally everything there. We have a lot of merch. Let's see here. We have hoodies and sweatshirts and hats and a little bit of everything. And so it's just a company built on transparency and communication. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a tool, right? So if you use a tool, it helps. If you go buy a hammer and you put it down and you don't use it, it's not going to be very helpful. So Amazon.com or helloblackman.com.
Yeah, and then also if they're interested in working at Amazon, how do they go about applying?
Amazon.com/apply is the easiest way to go through and see what jobs are available. Every Friday and Saturday is when Amazon normally loads jobs based on attrition or based on people moving or leaving the company. And so it's pretty well known when those jobs hit the market. So Friday and Saturday, Friday 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, that's when it normally loads. And once if they're going to open up 20 positions or 30 positions or 5 positions, once that closes, it won't be any more to put in until the next week or the next week. And they go very, 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 very fast. So it's not like, 1,000 people can put an application in. They're only going to be accepting a limited number every single week.
Wow, I did not know.
Amazon.com/apply.
All right, wow. Now the last thing before we go, we've got kids that are just a few months from graduation, and like we said,
Mhm.
the time is coming, the obstacles are coming. What can they do to prepare themselves mentally for the transition that is going to come if they walk across that stage in May?
Listen, mentally, you have to be ready to be self-sufficient, right? Being self-sufficient is something a lot of you I wasn't ready for, right? And so now I can tell you the steps to take. Being able to be accountable, to understand the information that's coming in and what information you're putting out. Understanding that social media is something that is going to be viewed by any company that you apply for. Your social media will be viewed. We want to know what we're bringing into our house, right? If nobody wants to take a bad apple and put in with good apples, that's not going to help any company wherever you want to work. So make sure you're putting out good fruit. Make sure we see that you are responsible and ready to be accountable. Going into the workplace or going to college, time management, understanding that you're not going to be able to do every single thing, right? You're not going to be able to go to every basketball game or play basketball or play the game all the time or go to every sport event because you're going to have scheduled work that is due by a certain time. And only you're going to have to figure out how long it takes you to do those certain things. So, the first 6 months or a year into college or the workplace, you may struggle with your time management, but you nail time management and attitude. I would teach anybody anything if they have the learning attitude, if they have an attitude that they're willing to accept direction, right? At Amazon, it is all about giving direction and taking directions. It's all day. You're making changes all day. So some kids, young adults, they're like, well, I don't like anybody telling me nothing. Don't come to Amazon and you're going to struggle in most workplaces anywhere because that's what most workplaces are. People are going to be telling you, hey, start here and do this. Okay, stop that, go here and do that. Okay, stop that, go here and do this because business needs change throughout the day. The same way about college. They're going to give you a curriculum and you're going to have to follow that curriculum, right? So you're not going to be able to say, hey, I don't want to do this paper. I want to do that paper. No, we're asking you to do a certain thing. So time management, being able to be accountable and being able to understand change and accept direction. Work on those things now. You're going to need them in the workforce. I promise you.
I love it. Good stuff. And again, Jamey Jenkins, right there in Amazon, helloblackman.com. Thank you so much for taking some time for us today.
Thank you all for having me. I've enjoyed it. I can't wait to see you all again.
I talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Greg.